Welcome to our semi-final action here from the second International Mixed Doubles Trophy in Aarau, Switzerland. Alongside with me is Al Moore.
Hello everyone.
The national trainer of the Swiss Curling Association and also coach, of course, on several occasions with the Swiss ladies teams. Very successful coach. We will see on the sheet B today the semi-final between Scotland, Judith McCleary and Lee McCleary. They are unbeaten so far in this tournament, having won their round-robin group and also having won this morning their quarterfinal against Hungary. And the opposite team will be Switzerland 2 with Jäggi and Mario Freiberger. Also quite an illustrious team, with Michel having played in a lot of World Championships with ladies teams, with her own ladies teams. She's a fifth in ladies curling.
Yeah, so we'll see that Scotland has last stone in the first end, and they'll be throwing the red stones. Switzerland throwing the yellow stones has just thrown their first stone. The two place stones are the yellow stone in front and the red stone at the back of the forefoot. And the first delivered stone by Michel has come up to the top of the forefoot. In mixed doubles play, of course, the teams play 5 stones per end. One player will play the first and last stones, and the other player will play the middle 3. And they can change that every end if they so desire. So to start the game, we've got Michel Jäggi playing the first, and should be also playing the last stone. Mario Freiberger from Switzerland will be playing the middle 3. The Scots, on the other hand, have started with Lee McCleary playing the first stone, and he's trying to come down to the yellow stone and tap it back, and he's been successful at that. Unfortunately, he's taking his own stone out of play.
I didn't sweep that much,
so the stones have to go back. No stones that are in play may be removed from play until the 4th delivered stone of the end.
Okay.
So they will try and rearrange the stones where they were, and the shooter will come out of play.
You tell me.
No.
And for that very reason, we find in mixed doubles play, there's an awful lot of stones in play almost every end, which makes it an exciting sport. So they're just right now trying to put the stones back as close to where they were. They've done a pretty good job there.
Let's have a quick look on the other sheet, on sheet C. We cannot show you the sheet, but we can tell you who will play in the second semi-final, and it's 2 Swiss teams. One team from the Bern area, consisting of Jenny Perret and Martin Rios, and the other team is from eastern Switzerland, Dübendorf and Wetzikon. It's Felix Attinger and Ursi Hegner.
And both of those players are skipping teams in the upcoming Swiss Championship, so very high level players. I don't know whether Rios actually has a home. I think he just lives in all the curling clubs in Switzerland. He works with a lot of the rookie teams and coaches a lot of juniors, so he's constantly on the move from curling club to curling club.
And he's also playing outdoor curling,
and, yes, and he plays outdoor curling as well, so he's a very busy fella. He was the half of the team that won the 2012 World Mixed Doubles Championship along with Nadine Lehman. So we've got an awful lot of experience out there. The current #1 ranked team is Michel Jäggi and Mario Freiberger. So they're continuing their winning ways.
They already have won mixed doubles tournament.
They've already won a mixed doubles tournament, so they're trying to make it 2 in a row. And Switzerland will be having a mixed doubles championship early in March with 30 teams playing in a championship level to try to go to this year's World Mixed Doubles Championship.
Yep. Okay.
Judith tried to make a nice hit and roll
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That was fourth delivered stone of the end, so she was permitted to throw a takeout.
Well, we've obviously been doing it, so.
Yeah, no. Sam? It's a bit annoying when it's there in your way.
Now with the new rules for mixed doubles, you're not required to actually have anyone in the house holding a target broom. They can actually go down and brush the stones, and the player could throw with
Good. Session.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Jenny.
no brush in the house. And I think you'll find that Freiberger and Jäggi do that a lot when they play softer shots.
Hey, want het was echt leuk.
Your nerves fine.
There were some rule changes this year in mixed doubles curling. Does that mean that the sport is not yet set or
Yeah, I
settled?
think the sport is still growing, so there's been some rule changes. They've moved the position of the stones in the house. The
like
stone in the
laughing?
house used to be just right behind the
okay.
center line. Now it's at the back of the forefoot.
why?
Yeah, same way.
And they've
Yeah,
also
it's keen.
allowed that they don't have to have a skip standing in the house holding the broom. And then the third interesting rule, which perhaps we'll see later in the game, is called a power play, where the position of the place stones is more on the side. And perhaps we'll explain that a little later on. The team with last stone, of course, gets to choose whether or not they will have the traditional setup with their stone in the back of the forefoot and the opponent's stone in the front of the house, or whether they'll go with their stone on the side of the 8 foot and the opposition guard in front of that. And that's called a power play, and the object behind that is to try and create a higher chance to get more than 1 point. You'll notice on that last shot that perhaps in traditional curling, the team without last stone would have hit that yellow stone and perhaps allowed a blank end. In mixed doubles, you do not retain last rock advantage if you do blank the end. So you'll find that most of the time the teams will ignore that and try and get under cover and more go for the steal. Ooh, there's a miss by Mario. He won't be happy with that.
Jesus.
They were looking like they had a two-ender set up.
Right, same again? Yep.
Scotland do have last stone here.
Yeah.
Scotland have last stone, so they're looking to get another one in behind and perhaps get 2 or maybe even 3 if they can get this stone properly placed.
Whoa.
Both of these teams won their respective pools. There were 4 pools with 6 teams in each pool. The McClearys went undefeated in their pool. They won the B pool. Jäggi's lost one game in their pool, but ended up on top winning the C pool. The other semifinal, oddly enough, features 2 teams from the same pool. They were both in the D pool. Rios won the D pool with an undefeated record, and Hegner-Attinger had only 1 loss, obviously, to Rios and Perret.
The Scottish side, the McCleary seem to be really a specialized team, mixed double specialists, whereas on the Swiss team we have 2 players who have a record in traditional curling. Do you think it's an advantage to be a specialist in mixed doubles? Or will we see more specialists in the future?
I think as this game grows, yes, we will start to see more specialists in mixed doubles. It's a slightly different mindset than normal curling. As I was just talking to a colleague of mine, mixed doubles is more about relentless draws to the forefoot and not as many takeouts. Michelle trying a double there to get out of trouble. Didn't make it. That will leave Scotland with an open draw to the full 8-foot circle for their 2 points. Yeah, mixed doubles, you have to be prepared for a lot of stones in play, and you have to be prepared to throw a lot of draws in and around the 4-foot area and not worry about all the stones in play. So for traditional curlers, it's a little bit of a mind change going into mixed doubles. But we've had a wonderful field here this week. We've had all the world champions here from the last number of years were part of this tournament. 2015, 2013 world champions were not even able to make the playoffs, so that shows you just how strong the field is. The 2014 world champions also were here from Switzerland, Michel and Reto Gribi, and they also did not make the playoffs. So this is probably about as strong a field as you're going to get anywhere in the world.
Scotland has been able to make his dues.
So the two players will go down to the other end and set up the stationary stones, and that will be a red stone. If in the traditional form, here we see them setting up. The red stone will go out on one of those spots. You'll see a lot of dots in the ice, and the positions are kind of A, B, C out in front of the circles, and you see the ones on the sides. Those are for use of the power play. So before the championship started, depending on how much the curl is in the ice, they will determine whether they use the closest dot, the middle dot, or the far dot. And once that's been determined, that dot is in play for the rest of the game.
That means it could be changed in between games, or
I think if the officials determine perhaps that the ice is straighter than they thought, they could make a change. I think for the whole competition, it doesn't necessarily have to be in the same place, but certainly for a whole draw, every sheet will have the same position, and it will stay that way for the whole game. And because there's enough curl in this ice, they've chosen the close one. That's the kind of shot you'd like to have. You'd like to be frozen right on top of it, but you certainly have to get down into the 4-foot area. And you'll see Mario has gone down the ice as this is a soft shot. He will not be holding the broom. Michelle will just be aiming at a point that she's chosen to throw the stone, and Mario will be there to brush it all the way down the ice if it needs it.
you could even choose to have two sweepers, could you?
And the stone stays in play, so that's an acceptable outcome.
Yeah.
This now is the third delivered stone, so still no takeouts allowed yet. Judith does have international mixed doubles experience, having competed in the World Mixed Doubles for Scotland on one occasion.
Switch again.
Fair.
Switch again.
8.
Switch again.
8. 9. Sorry.
Okay. It's not really good at this today.
Again, she was a bit heavy on her takeout, so they had to replace.
Had to replace it. She was really trying to draw down there. And that's a big mistake. Because even if she had been a little bit light on that one in top of the 8-foot, it would be a stone that they could use. And throwing weight to push a stone other places is a big mistake. And a little deep from Mario. He would really like to have that stone stop in front of the 4 foot, and perhaps a little more undercover.
Yeah.
Takeouts are now allowed, and of course
Get the nose, it's not bad.
Yeah.
they're going to be
Okay.
looking at throwing a soft takeout, probably to move one of the stones out of play and stay right in front. So they'd like to hit this almost right on the nose and stay in front of the. They don't mind if yellow is still shot as long as they're sitting right in front of it.
Is it possible to take off the guard, the front guard? Or
Certainly, yes. Any stone can be taken out after the third played stone has come to rest. Ooh.
Yeah, he's good.
And of course, the front guards are also eligible to be counted
He's for the
should they be raised into the house. So this end is really setting up for Switzerland, Jäggi and Freiberger. They can't cover everything because if they can cover one side, the other side's going to be available. They'd probably like to bring this stone
It's T9.
top
Nice,
top
good.
4 foot, slightly behind the front
T9.
red center stone.
Poached. Poached.
And this one's come a little deep, but it's got a little better line.
Okay.
And a lot of yellow granite in the house right now. I think Scotland would be happy to get rid of 2 of these for sure.
Okay. Huh? Yeah.
Sounds like this one might also be close to the guard.
Right off. Off, Carol.
Well, he touched them all.
Good effort.
He managed to touch every red yellow stone in the house, but only one of them actually went out. You see, every yellow stone is going to be moving after this shot. And poor Lee is not sure which one he should be brushing, I think.
Goed, het eindige wat gas is daar natuurlijk. Ziet er fint uit.
But the yellow rocks are still in
Ja.
good position.
Mario has to be careful on this one that he doesn't drive this red stone back into the pocket of the 2 yellow ones and then just roll his shooter right in front of the other yellow one and set up a double. Could be 4 yellow stones disappear in the next 2 shots if he's not careful here.
So wouldn't that be a situation where you now should put the broom for your player? Or
Well, I guess you know, it's a decision about whether you believe that holding a target or brushing is more important, and I guess they trust each other to. I think Michelle indicated a target for him, and then it's up to Mario to fix in on that target, even though there's no one standing there.
It's Carolyn.
Is that good or bad?
And he's played it fairly quietly. Looks like a really nice line. Well, unfortunately, he has left the red one in 3rd shot position, and the 2 yellows are in a double position. They could hit the yellow stone on the inside and roll behind the center guard,
As long as I'm tight and I'm not wide.
No, right side, yeah.
and across the
That's
top
not
of the
bad.
other yellow stone, killing both of them, which is I think what he's indicating he's going to try to do,
Just control. In fact,
and
probably better go
get
for
out of a big trouble
Yeah.
that they were in
that
earlier.
rather than that.
Do you want to play like a half?
No, just play control.
Okay.
so though we have a lot of draw shots, takeout can mean a lot in mixed couples curling.
Yeah, takeouts generally, you'll see takeouts on the last shot or
Yeah, I
perhaps
think
the
you do.
second last shot. Usually
Okay.
in mixed doubles, the first 3 shots that a team
Clean up.
throws are kind of setup shots. And then doubles will happen on the last one to score points or get out of trouble in this case. This might be a very important shot to this game with a 2-point lead. If he can make a double and hold Switzerland to 1 point, he'll have really dodged a bullet.
I'll get up.
Okay.
Sweeping seems to be much more difficult, of course, with takeout rocks than with throw shots in mixed doubles.
Yeah, I think
You have to get
nobody's really trying to throw it real hard. They want to throw it as soft as they can, but still make the shot. So you'll see them choosing the speed very carefully.
Okay.
They left the one yellow in, and that's going to be a draw to the 8-foot circle for 2 points for Michel to tie the game. But I think a couple of stones ago, if you had told the Scots they were only going to give up 2, I think they'd have been pretty happy with that.
They should be happy, huh?
It's only a 2.
So Michel has the chance to tie up the game.
Ja, wanneer je het lang bent, dan doe ik hem een beetje aan. Kom je in met Ross
And on the other sheet we have a 2-0 lead by the team of Wegner-Attinger.
Linie is super.
So even though the whole outside area is open, Michel has chosen the in-turn side, I think because they know that side a little more.
Sweep the shooter.
I just put my trusty stopwatch on that one. A little bit heavy, and I think it's going to roll too far. I got a time on my trusty little stopwatch of 13.31 seconds hog to hog. So I think Michel was probably looking more to throw it closer to 14 seconds hog to hog to get that. So that was a big opportunity lost, and the score will be 2-1 for Team McCleary after 2 ends, and they will go into the 3rd end with last stone advantage. So it looks like they're going to set them up in the traditional format. Scottish stone in the back of the 4-foot, and the Swiss stone short, and it'll be up to Switzerland to try and freeze down on top of that stone.
Can you tell us a little bit about the procedures that the Swiss Curling Association is applying with regard to the Olympic qualification?
I'm not actually sure if there's been a final decision about how they're going to qualify. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of a tournament, and I think teams that enter will be required to have played in at least 2 mixed doubles events the year previous, and whether or not any points have been gained, I still think that's up in the air, but there will be a requirement that they've at least competed in at least 2 mixed doubles tournaments, such as the one here. And there are growing every year. I think the number of mixed doubles tournaments over the last year probably grew by about 200%. I think there's a lot of them now worldwide. As this has become an Olympic sport, there's a lot more tournaments. And what that means is that teams are going to have to commit if they're going to try to play both men's and mixed doubles. They're going to have to commit to some part of their training in mixed doubles play. I'm not sure that that's going to be a doable thing. I think what Swiss curling is looking for is that people that want to play mixed doubles focus on mixed doubles, and people that want to play traditional men's and women's draws will focus on that.
Will it be possible at all to play both disciplines at the Olympics in Pyeongchang?
I don't think they overlap actually in play. I think they're separate weeks, so I think it would be possible to play both. I'm not sure if it would be feasible for the athlete to try to play both, but I think possible is there because I don't think there's any overlap in the schedules. They'll be using the same curling facilities, so obviously they won't be alternating back and forth. I think they'll play men's and ladies probably in 1 week and the mixed doubles in the opposite week, as the Olympics usually goes for almost a 2-week period. There's only going to be 8 countries that qualify for the Olympics, the first Olympics for mixed doubles, and naturally the host country, Korea, will be guaranteed 1 spot. So there's actually only 7 spots available. So it's going to be difficult to actually attain one of those spots, and they will be gained by the placement of teams over the next 2 mixed doubles World Championships. So this year's mixed doubles 2016 and the 2017 mixed doubles, the top 7 countries gaining points in those championships will be the ones that qualify. Switzerland's had a great record in mixed doubles over the years at the World Championships. All that really means nothing right now going forward. So there's only 1 country so far that's qualified, and there's I think in the World Championships in the last few years there's been 33, 34 countries that have actually played. So of those 33 or 34 countries, only 7 are going to gain berths. So it's a big challenge just to be at the Olympics for mixed doubles.
The World Championship will become extremely important.
Yes, as it is in our normal team curling. The qualifications for the Olympics are based on performance at World Championships, so that will be the same format basically for mixed doubles. Is that it's going to be very important for your teams attending World Championships to perform well to gain qualification into the Olympics. You'll see on our screen that the team of Rios and Parrott have stolen a huge 4 points in the second end in our other semi-final, and have taken a commanding 6-0 lead over Hegner and Attinger.
Can you still win a game if you are trailing by 6 rocks?
Well, the beautiful thing about mixed doubles is because there's already place stones in the house, you have the place stone already in the house, and the other team can't take it out. Big comebacks are possible in this game. I think on average there's much more points scored in mixed doubles than there are in traditional curling games. You don't see blank ends. You don't see teams playing open ends in mixed doubles. There's really no such thing as defense. So you won't see Rios and Perret playing defense anytime soon. The defense they'll employ is just more offense.
Go, hot.
You see, this ice may be a little bit faster than the players are used to. What happens when there's less games? There's only 2 games going on the ice here, and there has been 4 games going on normally through most of the other play, and so it may be a degree or 2 cooler out on the ice. And usually when it's a little bit cooler, the ice is a little crisper and tends to be just perhaps that little bit faster. So we're seeing some misses by both teams with the speed, and that's an adjustment that all teams have to make. Getting into championship play at World Championships, all of a sudden you play the round robin with lots of people on the ice, and you get down to the playoffs and there's 1 game going on, and the ice conditions can be quite a bit different than what you've experienced during the round robin.
Is that something that you can practice, or is it in your head mostly?
I think it's awareness. You have to just be aware that today we've only got 2 games going on. Let's be prepared that maybe it's going to be a little bit faster. Now you'll see Mario has also come a little too deep. So it's an awareness, and if you haven't played in championship play before, where you're the only game on the ice, certainly it's an experience thing. Where the more you get to know that, and that's something that coaches that have been to championships before can remind the teams that we're the only game out here. Let's look for this ice to be a little faster than it's been all week. And Judith has certainly struggled with getting her weight. She's been throwing some heavy.
Why are you sweeping?
That would also explain
She was
why we've
brushing
seen
this
some-
one because she thought it was light, and it's gone a little far on her as well. So they are struggling a little bit with the speed of the ice.
That would also explain why we've seen some unwanted takeouts.
I am seeing never off the line and you're still sweeping it.
Dan kom je hier met hak. Hoe slimste fout zijn en met jam.
Looks like another
So
chance for
playing
the
never off
Swiss
the line
to
and you're still
score.
sweeping it.
Ja,
I
ja.
think you're short.
A high end.
Ja, ja. Je wordt nooit hak, dus komt even niet.
Keep an eye on
Well,
it.
you're not communicating that with me,
Sorry,
Jude.
okay. I'm not getting a grip of the
Wat zegt dat?
weight very quickly, that's all.
Nu met dat.
Why are they switching brooms?
Point giving the daggers.
They may be switching brooms, believing that the brush has more impact on making a stone curl or holding it straight. There's been a big controversy this year, and I know that the World Curling Federation is actually meeting this week in Toronto to discuss brushing and the impact of directional
You are right.
directional strokes and also the type of materials. And I expect there'll be some rule changes come out of those meetings. But this year we've seen evidence of teams sweeping
Chance.
with directional strokes on certain sides of brushes. You'll see Mario now trying to make that stone curl by sweeping on that corner, and they believe that they can have more impact with a hairbrush than they can with a synthetic pad brush. And you'll notice he was sweeping on the right front corner, trying to get the stone to go more right. And conversely, if he had swept on the left corner, he'd have been sweeping to make it go straight. And I know it's a big concern for the WCF and a lot of players about how much
You can have a bit more if you want. Just go on.
athleticism is involved in making a shot with respect to throwing, and how much brushing should be involved.
Do you expect brushes to be prohibited, or?
I expect there's going to be some rule changes. It may be something to do with defining a curling stroke that doesn't permit the brush stroke to only be on one corner. I'm sure there might be some talk about the type of material that's permitted. There might be some actual definitions of how long a brush hair can be and what the specifications of a brush actually are. See, Lee's heavy again. He didn't mean to throw it that hard. He meant to throw he was looking to throw just back 4 foot weight to get his 1 point, and he ended up actually throwing hack. So speed seems to have eluded these curlers out here today, and that was a huge steal of 3 points for Switzerland to take a 4-2 lead. We'll see perhaps if these teams can get together and figure out that this ice is faster than what they're used to. I know this if this was a championship event with coaches present, I know the coaches would be dying right now to go down on the ice and talk to the teams about speed, because they are really struggling with it.
Ik autobahn, hè? Ik autobahn.
How do you change such a situation? You know, I mean, you should know it, you should see it.
You know,
How do you adapt?
I don't notice that the Scots are using stopwatches at all. I know Michelle Jäggi has a stopwatch around her waist. I don't see the Scots with stopwatches, so perhaps they're just relying on the feel, and they're just assuming that it's the same as it's been for the early part of the competition. And so there has to be some feel that this ice is actually a different speed than what we've been playing on, and some communication between them so that they they go, oh yes, let's try and throw it 3 meters or 2 meters softer, because it's probably at least 1.5 meters faster than that they're used to. Little light by Michelle, but any stone that stops in the front of the house is certainly one that can be used later on. If it stops behind the house, it's pretty hard to make it closer.
Line's good. Big line.
I see on the next sheet we just saw a draw going in the house, and I noticed it also went through. Draw from Felix Attinger, so both sides seem to have a little difficulty. This one again, heavy. Wanted that stone at the top of the 8-foot or top of the 4-foot, and now where he's left it is left an opening for the Swiss team to sit around right in front. So you see Michelle pointed out the ice, put her brush down for Mario to fix in on that target, and so I think she's been good at that. They always seem to put a brush down to give the other player a target. Now it's up to that player to remember where the heck that was.
Could you also target some point at the back, at the wall behind?
He could use something on the back of the ice. He could use something on the close hog line. He could use something on the close tee line. There's lots of reference points out there on the ice. In fact, sometimes we get players to do that who are having difficulty aligning themselves. We'll get them to use other alignment points in different spots. Mario's also a little bit heavy here. And that was a big miss. He could have stopped that stone at the top of the 8-foot and caused a lot of problems for Team Scotland. It's one thing we talk about. Heavy stones can never be made better, but lighter ones can. So they're trading mistakes back and forth here. Now Scotland can get this stone right in the middle of the top of the 4-foot, just short of the top of the 4-foot. It's biting that center line.
Short swing as well.
That'll force Switzerland to go to the other side. And it's always nice with mixed doubles if there's lots of curl both ways. Then you can get around the center guard on both sides.
Bang your brush.
And here we see, I hate to be repetitive, but there's another tough stone that's not really doing any good.
I think that's really rude, banging the brush like that.
Sometimes curlers get so caught up in focusing on line, they lose the what I call environmental awareness. Like, what is this curling ice actually doing today? And you have to be aware not only at the beginning of the game, but as we all know, ice can change during a game. And you have to really be aware and talk to each other about giving words about that can help the player. If they're constantly heavy, you've got to be able to give them a feeling so that they can finally find the right speed.
Gives a chance to speak. But we had a gift.
I know.
Apparently they're discussing now whether to hit or to draw.
Yeah, he could hit that outside one right in front of Michelle, roll across the top of the other one and actually get all three of them moving. But he would leave the middle red one would still be stuck there. And I think he's probably going to just throw a draw down in front of them, and it's going to be very difficult to be removed if he can get one nicely situated in front of them.
Michelle wants some help.
I think this one's speed looks pretty good. They're trying to make it curl. Michelle's sweeping sort of a little bit on that side. So that yellow rock's not going to go anywhere for at least a couple of stones. I'm not sure if it's close to the center or not, but it's certainly eliminated the other two red ones from counting. It looks like it might actually be a little closer to the center. Scotland don't actually want to come down and move that because that would just leave an easy path for Michelle to sit in front of it. They actually would like to stop the stone in front of the tee line.
It went big again. Whoa.
Let's see shot the second.
Okay.
Not perfect. He would like to have that one in front of the tee line. Mario's looking at perhaps hitting it. He might be able to get them all moving. The middle Yellowstone's not going to move anywhere.
I know, still just overthrown it.
Ik word genau gleich, ja.
Okay.
The redstones would be very difficult to remove because it's on the left side of center. If it was a little more on the right side, he could get it out. So I think he's going to play the same shot he just did. Try come down and just sit right on top of it.
On sheet C, we can see the scoreboard here in the bit, and see that Switzerland 4 is now on the scoreboard with 1 point.
Linie, oder was? No Linie! No Linie!
We'd like to get this directly on top of that redstone.
Sehr schön.
Very nice.
Ganz schön. Ja, wegen dem
You have to throw some speed at that one to get it out of play.
You see that?
Ja, maar ik dacht, dat Curly mag ik ook gar nicht. Ja.
Just catch what you can see.
Okay. Heel?
Yeah, I'm going to throw some
Yeah.
clearing weight at this one.
Met een vierde.
It will leave their redstone right there and force
I'll go.
Michelle Jäggi to duplicate the shot that's there.
Yep, all the way. Yeah! Hard! Very hard! Hard!
Hey,
That just touched the top guard. So if Switzerland can place another Yellowstone right on top of that one, or even a guard, it's going to be very, very difficult to score if you're Scotland.
We're just not setting up though. That's the problem. It's too easy for them.
And you'll see all those red stones behind the tee line are not going to come into play
And I'm getting
as scoring points. You just cannot afford to be heavy in this game.
Waar is het Iske? Onze vier.
could you draw from the other side to the button? Notice, do you see a
Well,
possibility
that
here?
Yellowstone that's there is
Sorry.
touching or overlapping the pinhole, so it's going to have to be moved somewhat. Whether they could come by close enough to those other Yellowstones and just nudge it a bit sideways might be possible. Very, very difficult.
We worden hem ook geen na. Nee, 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 niet wachten, niet wachten, niet wachten.
And I think they're just throwing the guard on this one.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow,
And it
wow.
looks to be
Goed.
just about perfect. So the only way I think that Scotland can score is to actually hit that guard that Michelle just played back onto the Yellowstone, hit half the stone on the left side as we're looking at it, and spill it out and leave the red stone that's
Just need to inside nose slightly.
behind it as a scoring stone. So degree of difficulty extremely high on this one. Has to be absolutely precise with a lot of speed. Well, I think he's got the speed part uncovered. Not sure if he's going to be accurate enough. No.
Okay, unlucky.
Very, very difficult shot. So he's left 1 yellow. And that will mean a 5-2 lead for Team Jäggi Freiberger at the halfway point of the game. And it might be time that you might see Scotland try the power play.
Sorry, come on. Okay, take it.
Mario's setting up the traditional way, but it's actually up to the Scots to decide whether they want to use the power play, and it looks like, nope, they're going to go traditional. Save that power play perhaps for the 6th or 8th end.
Is there a rule when you should take it, or is that just
That's up to the
teams
team.
to-
I think there's two ways you could use it. You could use it when you truly want to have to get back into a game to score 2 if you're behind. You could use it in the second last end if you're 1 ahead, trying to get 2 to give yourself a 3-point lead. Or if you were tied up playing the last end, it would be a great thing to do because the forefoot would be open. So using it in the last end in a tied situation would be a good thing to do. So generally you'll see it used in the 6th, 7th, and 8th ends.
Have you any information about what other countries are doing with regard to mixed doubles promotion and development?
I think there's a lot of work going on in certainly in countries like Hungary where they don't have a lot of curlers and it's difficult to form complete men's and women's teams. That there's perhaps a little more emphasis going on mixed doubles. I'm not sure whether any of the associations are more focused on mixed doubles than they are for men's and women's.
Yeah. Okay. Big agency.
In your home country, Canada?
Yeah, okay.
Canada really hasn't, they just started getting involved in it as well. They've basically just had open championships and let the competitive curlers form their own teams. And I don't think there's been any additional funding for any of the teams, and I don't believe there are any dedicated mixed curlers at this point. All the curlers that are playing mixed doubles play on men's or women's teams. As I say, with the Olympics coming up, I expect there's going to be change to that. I think you'll see teams start focusing, also with much more competition.
Try and get tight to the guard.
The number of competitions are multiplying, so as there's more and more competitions, I think you'll see players focus strictly on mixed doubles and attend all those competitions like they do for traditional men's and ladies. I don't know, maybe we'll get to a situation where we have grand slams. I think we'll also start to see more, because this isn't going to be an Olympic sport, sponsors are always looking for opportunities to show their logos as wide as possible, so perhaps we'll get a worldwide mixed doubles sponsor.
It is financially quite challenging to do all those trips.
Yeah.
If you imagine that also in Asia now curling is getting widespread, and
Yeah, if you're looking at traveling all around the world for championships, then it becomes an expensive proposition, and sponsorship is key. You notice on the net sheet we had a very unusual thing happen. We have a blank end, which almost never happens in mixed doubles. There's no positive benefit to the team blanking the end. They do not retain last stone advantage. So it looked like Rios and Perry blanked the end, but they may be in a defensive situation. Just saw a fabulous raise triple takeout by Mario to kill all the red stones. That's called cherry picking. Those little cherries went right out of the house. Scotland thought they had something on the go, and Mario with one great shot eliminated all the red stones.
Yeah. They'll run it back next time as well.
And now he's got Scotland worried about Mario making runbacks. Because he said if we go in here, he'll just run it back. So it kind of gets in your head. Once you make one great run back, the other team assumes, oh, you're always going to make those.
How could you avoid that now in this situation?
Now we can come down and freeze the stone. Instead of using the guard, he could use the stones behind the tee line and actually freeze or tap the one that is nearest to his brush. If he tapped it back 15 centimeters or so, sat right between those two, it would be difficult to remove.
High line.
So there's two ways to make it difficult to get your stone out. One is to hide it behind a stone that's already in play, and the other one is to rest it up against one that's in play, or freeze it.
Yep, hard, bend it now. Hard. Hard. Okay, that's good.
We got about that 2/3 under cover. Lee just turning around to look at the scoreboard to see if he got any closer, but I don't think he has. And we're trying to figure out what his next ploy might be to try and get 2 points this end and get back in the game. Nice shot by Mario. He's always been a very good thrower. He's got a classic, very balanced delivery, very accurate. I think he and Rios just exchanging notes there, glancing back and forth at each other. Things continue the way they are. They'll be playing each other in the final. So they're just keeping an eye on each other.
Just wait.
I think that communication is quite important, whether it is with your own team, whether it is even with your opposition.
The Brusher's working really hard to get this one into the 4-foot. And come up a little light. Undercover, but I think it's third shot there. So they're going to have to move both of those other Yellowstones out of play to make that one count.
Sorry.
Does that mean that the Swiss now are ignoring that rock? And
I think they're going to say, okay, we're going to guard our... they can put a guard right between those two yellow ones, just short of the house. Going to cause big problems for Scotland trying to score.
Treib raus. Nur drüber, macht alles von allein.
Play the pitch.
And I thought
Macht
I'd
alles von allein.
Michelle just playing a guard.
sit.
Sit.
A little deeper than she wanted to, but I think it's done the job. And all that Scotland have is a very, very difficult draw for one. They're going to have to come around and actually move that Yellowstone on the button. They're going to have to move that back a few centimeters if they expect to score. And as you're looking at it here, you'll see they can't see any of it. In fact, as we say, it's over buried. So
Again, a very difficult last draw.
poor Lee is leaving himself very, very difficult shots. And that is the formula for sitting behind the glass on the next shot. You're going to have to come very close to the Yellowstone at the top of the 12-foot to make this shot.
Be back.
Where?
You need to be back.
And that's not going to get to the shot stone, but I think he'll get in there for second. And it can be a steal of one more.
Yeah.
So I think you'll see probably the power play come out of the bag of tricks, and the decision is going to be which side of the ice. They have the choice of which side of the ice. We're talking about it now. It looks like they're going to set it up on our right as we're looking at it. They may feel there's more curl on that side, or perhaps less curl on that side. And I think you'll see Switzerland defend against it by trying to angle raise the guard into the house. So this is the power play. See, the stones are now placed on the side, the yellow one in front guarding the one in the house. The one in the house is half into the 8-foot, half in the 12-foot, and biting the tee line in front of it.
And it's in front of the tee line.
It's
not,
in
not
front
the
of the
same
tee
as
line.
Backline.
when you have it in the middle, it's behind the tee line.
Yep. So most of the teams are defending against this by hitting the yellow guard, as we see on the outside, and raising it across into the house and rolling the shooter out of the way. So they can probably play almost hack weight at this, hit a half or quarter of a stone and put it in, as long as they don't take that yellow stone out of play. She would like to hit that thinner and push it across to the other side, which will open up the one in the house. So they haven't done that, so Scotland are going to continue to use that guard up there and try and get another red one in behind it. They'll ignore the yellow stone that's there and try and draw another red stone into the house with the hopes that they can take the yellow stones out later. And they really need 2 points in a big way, being down 6-2.
Line's close.
Line looks pretty good.
Nice shot.
Thank you.
Lovely shot.
So Switzerland could play the same shot, or they can follow that stone down and tap it a bit. They cannot remove this stone from play. Any of the stones in play cannot be removed from play.
Ja, du musst ihn auch rausnehmen, aber er geht.
How about putting one rock on the other side of the
They
house?
could do
and
that.
then,
They could sit two.
Nein, nein, nein.
Put one on the other side.
Immer gleich, und
The thing I like about the power play, it changes the thinking and it brings more tactical thinking into play. I think before this stone was brought into play, it was just about relentless draws into the 4-foot. And now there's at least a little bit of thought going into how to manage this and how to play this. I'm not sure what they've chosen, as we don't see a skip in the house. I think Mario's setting up with his in turn, so I think he'll be playing the same shot, trying to angle the Yellowstone into the house. And hopefully sit 2 and open up the 2 stones for later, for his next shot. I think he's done just as you called, Mike, so he's done both.
Yep.
He's put one on the other side of the house and opened up the double takeout. So that's perfect stone by him. And that seems to be the popular way to defend against the power play. So if Scotland want to bring those 2 red stones into play, they're going to have to take out both of these yellow stones.
Is the double takeout available here? Or?
It is, but you have to throw it very, very fast. They're pretty flat. I think at this point, you want to move one of them out and roll over toward the other one. I think no matter what you do, Mario's got his eyes set on making that double takeout on those 2 red ones on the next shot. He's trying to figure out which one to hit. Should he hit the left one and roll towards the right one, or hit the right one and roll toward the left one?
And they're going to go for that, probably leave you a double.
They're going to go for that.
So he said he's pretty sure Mario's going to go for that
Like
double
you
takeout.
said, huh?
He'd kind of like to protect that, but
He already smells the danger, huh?
I think that the thing is that you want to sit 3 here so you can get 2 later. So this is imperative that the shooter stays around.
High line. Whoa, high line.
Thought you said, sorry.
It's good.
Nice shot.
Sorry, I thought you said yay line. Straight away.
Mario may take a shot at the triple here.
Oh,
Hit the center red one, roll over and hit his yellow one onto those 2. The yellow one that's in the house, hit it onto those 2 and take them all out.
but that's not the shot you do every day, though.
Mario's an accurate player, so he looks at things like this, and he can throw it hard. So I think if he hits about a half of that red stone on the left side, he'd be pretty close to making it.
And he doesn't even need a broom to do that.
No, he'll pretty well be aiming where he wants to hit it. He's going to throw it hard enough that it won't be curling very much at all. Even if he rolls over and just pushes his yellow one over toward those other 2, that's successful. But it looks like he's just setting up on the double. He's not going to try an advanced shot. He's setting up on the double on the side. So he'll be happy to eliminate both of those and roll the shooter away.
Can you take the yellow?
Yeah.
Sergio, Mario.
No, mission accomplished.
Yeah. You shouldn't be too greedy in curling, shouldn't you?
Sometimes it's okay.
Good 2 left.
I have to.
So there's options here. They could just simply take out the Yellowstone and try and roll a bit to the right, or they could try and freeze it,
Who's that?
or try and maybe draw behind it, or guard their own red one.
Go behind it.
So there's a number of options available to them. He hasn't looked at the guard, he's looked at the freeze, he's looked at draw behind, he hasn't looked at the guard on his own. I think he'd like to sit 2 in the house.
Now he's just going to hit the open one, isn't he?
They have to
Quite
take
like
a bit
in front of
more
it.
risks now.
Don't really
Yeah.
like the hit and stick. It's just making them play a
Yeah,
double.
no. Why don't they just sit in front of it?
Sit in front of it, they can play the double.
Mm-hmm.
Catch inside of that and ping that. It goes.
Hoop ik hier eerst.
Okay.
I might try the guard at this point.
Yeah?
Come into the house.
Okay.
One more shot.
Don't mind there.
So there's not much space, but he's going to try and draw behind the Yellowstone,
Try.
which is shot.
On sheet C, Attinger Hagner have
Come
been
off
able
that.
to make another
Come off
steal.
it.
It's missing it.
Looking like it might be a little strong again. Really important that stay in the 8-foot. Now Mario can hit the other, or Team Switzerland can hit the other Yellowstone and sit 2 by just a nose hit.
Wie schnell warst du? Tanny, ich will normal. Ich will gleich jemanden hier geben, wo heben kannst du ja gehen.
Looks like Scotland might have to make some kind of double on their last one if they're looking at getting a 2 this end. Things are not setting up. If Team Switzerland can just make a couple of nose hits, it's going to force Scotland to make some kind of double on their last one.
Hey, nee.
Oh, it was a double.
Goed zo.
So again, another option. He can try and hit and roll over and make the double. Or he could hit the one that shot stone and try and roll over behind the other yellow one. And he's just indicating
No, I
both of
think we
those
have to hit
options.
something.
Trying to figure out which
Because
one might
otherwise-
give him the best opportunity to
Like, what?
2.
They're just going to...
Problem is,
Ja, vrouw.
do that. Playing 1. They're still going to hit, aren't they?
I know that.
Yeah, okay. Just do that.
Yeah, I think so.
Ja, is horen.
It's possible they could make a
Control.
double take up, but I think they're just going to try
Yeah.
and play a hit and roll over
Just half, no? I'm just trying to take the one.
Yeah.
and roll over to the
Just
side
give me
of
the
that
same ice then and I'll-
Yellowstone.
Well, try and get a roll.
Okay.
Just
Control.
control. Yeah. Yep. Well,
Nee, dat gaat niet.
good. Okay.
I'm not sure if they hit that, whether or not there'll be second shot. They hit it on the nose.
Tanny.
Might be
Why
close.
don't they draw now?
They could draw. They could draw down to the back one. If they drew down to the back redstone, they'd be sitting 2. And it would be very, very difficult for Scotland to get a multiple score. But I think they're playing the scoreboard now. With a 6-2 lead, they're going to eliminate a stone from play. And worst case scenario, they give up 2, not 3. They ever tried a draw and didn't put it in the right place, left a double, they could give up a 3-ender.
Double? Hanging a bit high, I think.
Possible double here. So it's in. it's going to be a takeout for
Which hand do you want?
2 for Scotland. I think that shot was all about
Don't know
defense.
what's going to do the other hand.
It's eliminating the red stone.
Shall I play half or?
Half at that.
And accept the deuce.
They accept that they're going to give up a deuce, and then wouldn't be surprised to see Team Switzerland pull out the power play in the next end to extend their lead playing the last. There's no reason not to play the power play because they can only do it when they have last stone, and they're not going to have last stone playing the last end unless they allow a steal.
You're going to be a tiny bit more from playing
So
half.
if it was me, I think I would have the power play and ensure I scored at least 1, and I'd have at worst a 3-point lead coming to the last end. Lee has to be careful to hit this on the nose or a little bit toward the inside so he doesn't take out his back stone.
Yep. Whoa!
And he's done just that. So
Very
2
nice.
score for Scotland, closes the gap, keep them in the game. Switzerland leads after 6 ends, 6-2. Pardon me, 6-4.
6 to 4.
If I pick the power play, we'll get a guard.
Guard.
Yeah, center guard. Have to go center guard. Probably about the 2 positions.
So Scotland will be going all out for the
Probably
steal
that
this end.
spot there
If
if
you
they want
see Team Switzerland play the traditional, or play the power play, I think you'll see Scotland ignore those 2 stones and throw a center guard.
Can you play a real defense game at all?
It's hard to play
In
defense
mixed
because
doubles?
you're not allowed to take out. You want to basically get this. Now they're going to go to the power play. You will not see Scotland playing the raise of that stone into the house. They'll be throwing a center guard because they're going to be going for the steal. And so what Switzerland can do is, of course, they can play a soft peel on the stone at the center line and try and move it off the center. They want to be sure it's open. So I mean, that's the defensive play would be a soft peel of the stone in the that's going to go up here for a guard.
Nee,
I think a wee bit more.
es braucht so viel, für das meine innen durchgeht. Aber gleich denkst du schnell, oh nein, es ist Chinese. Ja, ja.
Switzerland will be able to throw a takeout on their second delivered stone this end. So that means just 1 guard for Scotland.
Over and up.
So they may not try the soft peel. They may just draw another stone in the house.
Go if you can. Okay.
Ah,
Good. Nice shot.
ja, der musst du drin haben in dem Fall. He?
Ja.
Im rechten, hä?
And I don't know what the call is. Seeing as they are not
Linie ist
playing.
gut. Sicher wechseln, sicher wechseln.
I think they're just playing another one around that guard. And then I'm pretty sure you'll see them start peeling the center guard.
Ja, it's go hard. Go hard. Go, 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 go.
Really nicely done.
Okay.
I don't think you'll see Scotland even look over those stones. They've got to steal one. They could either put another guard up in
Yeah,
play,
go there. You know they
or
got
they
the
could
guard
go
on
in.
the
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if we go on top of the yellow.
I think
They
a
just rip
second
that
guard at this
anyway.
point, just over the hog line in front of the guard that's there, would be the.
You go there, he's
the
going to
call
try and
that you
double
want.
it.
It's just what
And you got nothing.
Yeah. That's probably better though.
Huh?
Maybe that's better than 1.
I quite like that.
He's choosing to go in right now and then hoping
And
to.
then just put the guard up because they'll always be trying to rip it.
guard,
They'll
guard,
always
guard
rip
for
the
the
guard.
rest
Even
of
if
the
it's
end
half
to
a
try to
guard, they're
steal
going
a
to rip
one.
it.
Still one.
Yep.
Huh?
You know?
So we'd like to put
Yep.
the winner in right now,
Well,
or
is one better
the
than
stealing point
behind?
in right now, and then
No.
hopefully guard it
I'm just
successfully for
wondering
the
whether you
next.
just stick another
If you
Three
keep that up and
shots.
go after 2 guards,
What
that's
would
it,
be the
game over.
purpose of putting up another guard?
Another guard would be just to complicate things in front of the house and hoping for perhaps a miss, and then have 2 guards up to go in behind, or at least go in behind later in the end when Switzerland may not have as many shots to get at it.
Woods. Whoa. He's the bend, Jed. Yep. Hard. Yep, no, on the way. Switch. Wrong way, Jed. Hard.
She's trying to make it curl now by getting on the
Hard.
on the leading side of the stone.
Okay, that's good.
So Switzerland can hit the one on the button, or
Ja, maar dat blijven we
Try and hit the
vertrouwen.
guard
Wenn
back.
der hier bleibt, macht sie den Freeze, oder? Bis die 8 Fuß. Ja, aber kommst du eigentlich nicht dahinter, oder?
because that stone didn't get fully buried
Yeah,
and it's
that
mostly
was
open and near the center
will
hole, it's
even
probably
knikken
a better play to move that one out of the way. If you run the guard and don't take the one on the button, they'll put a much better guard on top of it.
Ik vind even
But it
gaaf dat
looks
die niet
like
zo
they
schwierig
are
spelen.
a bit undecided, or
I think they're trying to determine, do
they
they want to stay right there
or
or roll over to the side? They talked about staying right there, which would
Yeah, or
Or
take
take
it
a
out.
shot.
cause the Scottish team to have to move it.
Go to replace the guard.
Yeah. It's just
and how about running back the guard and removing the shot rock?
If you could
at the
get
same
both, if you
time?
could be guaranteed to get both of them, that would be a great shot. But if you don't get the one on the button, it's going to have a much better guard on it the next time, and you won't be able to run it back.
And it's a nice shot in there as well. It's like sitting really good.
I always feel if there's a stone on the button and you have a chance to
Yes, for
hit it,
line,
you should
right? To get the
probably
bend. To get the bend.
probably make a play
Is
on
that
it.
the bend? So we
Okay.
get to get the bend.
Just when you shouted yes, I was
No,
shooting
you
for like.
Missed it by a mile. I'll tell you switch. I'll say switch.
See, in our other semi-final, the team of Rios and Perret have picked up 2 points in the sixth end, and they're comfortably ahead in that one, 8 points to 2 over Hegner and Adler.
Sorry.
Lee, be ready. Lee.
Nice shot.
He's played to hit that on the nose and stay, which means that
Sorry,
Scotland's
Rush.
going to have to move that stone.
Thanks.
You'll see them probably try and tap it
Just
to the
need to
back of
come
the
in there,
forefoot.
just like honestly that weight, yeah.
If they freeze it
Pretty
and
much the same weight,
are
eh?
not shot after this stone, I think you'll see Switzerland go up and just peel the guard off.
Not that beste. Aber ja. Weet je het even? Niet met hem hoor.
Oh, other side. Wads are in. High. High.
It's a bit heavier.
Never for line.
Oh, that's so good.
He needs to bend a lot.
Pretty good.
Whoa.
Huh?
Never touch. Never, never, never. Okay.
Pretty good shot. I think you'll see this will just be a peel the guard off. Scotland still have to move that stone that's on the button to
Maar
sit
de ene
shot,
kontje
and
normaal
that would
zo.
set up 2 of their stones close to each other and leave a double.
Wouldn't even think anyway.
Ja, aber ich habe das Gefühl, du brechst immer ein bisschen raus, weil du kannst hier mit der Schnellen kommst hier nicht so knapp durch.
He could move all of them out of play. He could move the one on the top of the forefoot and the one on the
Das ist
button.
schon gut, ja.
I know,
And
that's
the center
exactly what I was
guard.
gonna say. I was like, just leave it.
Aber
So
du
he
musst
was to hit the
Anker
red stone on the right side, driving it across half of the stone on the red stone on the left. All those stones would be in motion and they'd probably all go out of play.
Also du kannst auch von Anfang an auftun, wenn du willst.
If he peels it going toward the right, he has to be careful not to hit it onto the
Yep.
2 yellow stones that are
Ich will
in the
doch.
house. So he's going to try and, looks like he's going to try and get everything.
Huh?
Going to try and hit it almost where Michelle's brush is right
Nee,
now.
moet nee.
And if he does that, he'll probably get just about everything. And the shooter will roll over well out of play. So he'll
But his
try
own
his,
shot rock will also.
yeah, his
go
show
away,
shot
yeah.
stone will go. He'll end up sitting the 2 yellow ones behind that corner guard. He's close.
Oh,
He didn't want to do it that way. So he's left the Scottish stone as second stone.
Will I second, eh?
Yeah.
not exactly.
So he
The
wanted to
idea.
hit that thinner, more across the top of the other
Like the
stone.
hit and roll?
Just leaving the cold draw though, that's the only thing.
No.
If you're leaving the 4 foot, you're 3 down, you kind of really need to go for a steal. You're as well just doing that,
Okay.
just going for it.
Okay.
You're going to play another freeze here. Maybe tap it back a little
I
bit.
think so.
I think if he taps it right
You have
behind
to
the
really,
button.
if you hit and
yeah.
roll, they've always got the 4 foot to draw and they're 3 up going down the last.
Yep.
Never for line, never. It's way out.
Weight's good.
Never for line. Never for line. Better shot.
We're waiting for the stone to curl. Pink curls a little bit more. Should
Never,
finish near the
never,
end.
never, never, never,
I
never,
think
never,
it's
never,
going to be
never.
right on. Speed was very good.
Laten we gaan shoppen zie je.
I think you'd actually want to hit and roll in front of your Yellowstones. That would force Scotland to play a double takeout. And things would still be open.
Ik wil echt gaan shoppen.
Even a nose hit's pretty good.
Dat eigenlijk meer druk als dat ze er even hier gaan iets
I
maken.
think it was me. I think a nose hit would be the most prudent shot. It wouldn't leave Scotland really an opportunity. They'd have to play a double and roll to the open side, which would leave you the whole 8 foot to draw to.
Is it possible to remove both red rocks by using your own shot rock, you know? Doing
Possibly,
Sort
but
of a
you
curve
might end up taking out your own, and the shooter might roll out of play and leaving the Scotland shot. And I don't think there's any need to remove that other Scotland stone right now. I think a nose hit right here puts a lot of pressure on Scotland. He's trying to roll a bit in front of his own. That's not bad. If Scotland are to make the double to sit 2, they will at least be wide open in the 4 foot. He could try to corner freeze the one on the button. Very difficult shot. I think you'll see him try the double. I think he thinks if he makes the
Yeah, it needs to
double
be-
and
well, maybe a
Switzerland
bit
scores
less
1, he still has a chance to get 3
He
coming
needs to get
on.
the yellow out.
Although he has already used up his
So
power
go ahead
play.
and rolling to the edge of the 8 on that side.
Yeah.
If he does not make this double, I think this game will be pretty well over. That will give Switzerland a draw for 2 or a
Okay
hit
with
for
that?
2.
Yeah, I think so.
Just control.
I think he's going to stay in the line a bit, eh?
Just control.
Okay.
He's got to hit it just on the center line side, slightly, to remove both yellow stones. This one looks a little outside the mark.
outside.
So it's going to be I think a draw for 2.
Right.
If they actually had to, they could go through that hole and tap the yellow one back for 3, but at this point they've got
Sorry.
a 2-point lead, 3 with the one in the house, So another one in the 8 foot will give them a 4-point lead playing the last end. So there's no need to take on that additional risk.
Ganze 8, ja. Ja, ein bisschen weniger. Ja.
It's not been a good game for me, sorry.
Ich würde ein bisschen...
I'll put my trusty stopwatch on this one and see if Michelle can
Nein,
find the right
warte.
speed.
Warte. Mal, jetzt hast du Bremse, hä? Putzen.
14.
Putzen.
So
14.
that should be right on the money.
3 yellow.
So that's a 8-4 lead for Switzerland over Scotland with 1 end to come. Scotland have already used their power play, so they'll have to try and generate 4 points with the traditional placement of stones. And whether it be mixed doubles or regular curling, a 4-ender is a mighty tough thing to get.
And you have to make 4 points with only 5 rocks.
You have 5 stones, although you do have 1 already in the house, so it's possible they throw 5, but they have 1 already placed, so 6 is always a possibility. You cannot get a larger end than 6 in mixed doubles.
That would be like an 8-ender in
That's like an
traditional
8-ender in
curling.
traditional curling.
We haven't seen one here.
I think there was 2 last time I was at the World Championships. But it happens. I mean, one team generally is trying to steal, and they're not taking your stones out of play.
Nee, niet los. Wow. Linie is super. Een beetje curlen, wel goed.
And Michelle's delivered a perfect first stone.
Goed.
Do I need to bump a bit?
Yeah, just that though.
Looks like they're pushing all the stones
Can I
down
get to
on
those
the
and
other
just
sheet.
Want to get to nose.
Yeah, give it a
You
lesson.
see, we have
that
I
way.
our
think the other
first.
semi-final is over. I think it's
So I'll give you a tiny bit.
8-4 final for Rios and Perret, who will move on to the finals of this championship.
Close.
We will of course show you the final game
Sure.
No.
at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yes! Whoa.
And that's Central European time. We're located in Aarau, about 45 kilometers south of Zurich.
Was hier?
The Aarau Curling Club has about 190 members, and they have grown quite a bit this year because there was a merger with the Alton Curling Club. Curling Club Alton was shut down, and the biggest part of the members joined the Aarau Curling Club, so that they have now.
It's always sad to see one curling club close, but it's always good when the players there continue to play at another club.
That's right.
So now that we're on the 4th stone of the end, takeouts can be thrown. I don't think you'll see Scotland throwing too many. At least,
I still think
now
you
they
wanna
want to get
try a wee
stones
bump
in
and try and get to
play.
the inside of that and put that a little bit.
Okay.
So they're going to try and maneuver
Push
stones.
that back to there.
Ja, genau.
Mixed doubles is all about positioning.
Okay.
Then that'll then push that back to there.
Okay. ja immer, ja.
That's maybe not bad either.
Ja.
Because then they can't hit it because it'll jam. And then the yell go out. That's pretty quite good.
Okay.
Loads.
Dat is wichtig.
Whoa. Never for line. Never for line. Never for line, Jude. Whoa. Close. Yep.
8.
Yep. Hard. Hard, hard, hard. Okay, good. Nice shot.
I think you might see the option, of course, they could peel the guard off, which would give Scotland a chance to have 4 of their stones in the house.
Just take the yellow. Like that.
Run back the guard on the.
They could run back, just peel the guard off, or they could hit their own yellow stone onto the red in the house, eliminate one yellow or one red.
Yeah, get the yellow back a
Zeg,
bit.
en de breekstouwen, ja, en hier dem doorkomt, dan wordt staat breken, dat is klaar. Ja, moet je ook maken, als dan niet om zo'n klein aankomt, oder?
We played really well, I think,
Huh?
against Stanton, actually. Well, she must have drawn, didn't she? And that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
What was that?
Voor verder,
No, definitely better now.
wie snel komt je?
Today.
Not sure they've actually made a decision yet.
Ja, dat vraag ik me niet op van Anfang an niet daar was. Du kannst schon so.
I don't think I'd try to run the yellow one back in. I think I'd just straight peel it if I was going to peel the guard. But I kind of think they're going to play this
Daar wegneemt, dan lijkt hij er nog maar een hier. Als ik goed ermee
the
naar
stone in
weet
the
ik
house
daar
wouldn't be a bad one to play. Because certainly the back red one, just biting the back of the house, is always going to be easy to take out. We're going to have another chat.
Ja.
Could be decisive, so
Ik word...
they have to.
Oh ja, het is daar nog. Oké.
I think Mario's liking the run back. Not sure I agree with this. I
Ja,
think
en
I
dan
just
gaat het dus mag staan, oder?
hit that stone in the house, the
Yep.
yellow stone in the house onto the red one, eliminate it.
In maar
You can always
bekijken.
eliminate the one at the back.
Mhm.
That's 2 gone. You could hit this wrong, leave a guard, and leave still
Everything.
a couple of reds in the house. If I was hitting this one, I think I would just play a straight peel.
Card!
Shell's talking to the stone.
Oh, they moved their own rocket.
Yeah, and that was that stone was
That's what we
important
said,
because
yeah.
that one was out counting the back one. And now Scotland don't have to worry about
Want to come round that way?
bringing that back stone into play.
Yeah,
It's getting a
really
little
good,
easier to
good.
bring that back stone into play.
Goed, het is einfach...
The problem is this one here, huh?
To me, that was a
Yeah,
poor
no.
choice of tactics.
Nee, iets weet je niet. Waar moet je overkomen?
I don't mind trying to come round there. We just bump that a little
Bump
bit.
that, yeah.
Scotland
like
can
that.
actually
Even if you get
start
there,
to
get
make
the
things a
angle
little
there.
bit nervous for the Swiss
Yeah, I've
team.
got it for the next time.
That's really good.
Yep.
Because even if they go for the run back, it's going
Yep.
in there. Yeah, I really like that actually.
Okay.
Again, it's all about placement of stones. If they can get
Corner
these stones
freeze.
lined up in the right line,
Ja, dan moet het allemaal wat aan het doen.
Even top eight's good. Okay. Don't really want to bounce that actually.
Okay.
I think if Judith can get this one in the
that?
right spot,
Okay with
4
that?
is certainly in play.
Loads of room. Loads of room. Line's good. Good line. We only, Jude. Whoa. Oh, no bounce.
It's no bounce.
Line is not bad, huh?
Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard, hard, hard. That's good. Well done. Nice shot.
I could have swept that one a little more.
Easy in my hand.
Yep. So she is al oké. Nee, wat zo mag het. Wel, wenn du gar machst, musst du nochmal draufschlagen, leg 5-mal.
All of a sudden you have a lot of red rocks around.
I think they decided to draw. I think they're going to try and come around from the right side and freeze up against the one at the top of the 4-foot. They recognize that they're in a little bit of trouble. If they just straight peeled that guard last shot, then these red stones would all be open.
Whoa. Go ahead. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, gar niet. Nee.
Do they try to
Nee.
guard up their second rock, or?
They're just trying to sit right there. That's a pretty good stone.
Nee, is niet slecht, is goed.
However, Scotland can come around on the left side and angle raise that
What are we doing
one.
on this side? You always got to play that red.
Which would open up the other yellow stone for a later shot and leave 3 of them buried behind that one guard.
Go to there, they're going to hit
Hit
that.
a half a stone. Say
Yeah,
with
you've got
hack
to try
weight,
and move that
half a
red.
stone with hack weight,
Try
and
and get
save
that
the
yellow.
shooter back over here
Okay.
by the tee line so there'd be no double on it. And with 1 stone to come, I think
Try and leave the
Switzerland
shooter
will be a
there.
little bit of trouble.
Okay. Like a half weight?
Yeah. Do you like hack?
I like hack.
No. I'm thinking more like
Is
hack.
Hack going to move it enough?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. If you
Yeah,
catch,
okay.
Yeah,
if
it's
you catch it right.
amazing
don't
how
need-
all of a sudden
I think there's.
things get
Do we need
possible.
it to go out past the
If
red at the
imagine that
back,
yellow
no?
guard wasn't
Yeah,
here, if
heavy
he
on
straight
hack
peeled
then.
it last
Okay.
time, then all these things in the house would be open.
Yeah. But of course,
Do you want me to come up?
Yeah, please.
Scots need to play.
4 is definitely in play, and so is 5.
The other shot is if you do this,
I liked his first
get that
call.
one through.
The hack shot
I can only see about.
at half a stone, push that
I know,
1 yellow stone out of play, has to go out of play to bring this back stone into play. And the shooter roll over to the side of the 12-foot here.
One yellow sitting there.
Might require a little bit
Red
more
sitting
than
in front of
hack,
it.
but
Yeah.
And then
'Cause he has
what
to
are you
get
gonna
that-
do? 'Cause you can't
has to
guard
get that
both.
yellow stone right out of play in
Yeah.
order to bring this.
Even-
back
even
red
if it's
stone into play.
there, and that
But if he
one
can
is
do that,
there, what that is,
Not only is 4 in play, but I think 5 is
if I
still
go
in play.
here, push that one back. That one. The next
I think it would force Michelle to throw a freeze into the
That's
pocket
just-
of
that.
those,
Then they might
Mhm.
just
the yellow and
just
the red stone that are there already.
Just game over.
What about that?
I think so. Just hack.
Yeah, but it has to be really
Shut
close to
off.
that guard.
Yeah.
I think they decided that they might go around on the left side and play hack weight and double bump the 2 yellows, taking 1 out of play and leaving the other one. I think this is more difficult. I believe this is more difficult than the.
And
first
isn't there
call.
a risk of, if it hits a bit to the outside, then your own rocks are in danger?
Yeah,
think
they
it's
have to be
okay?
very close to the guard.
I think so. Is that enough for hack?
Well, I need to be skinny to that guard. There's no
Okay.
point being white. High line. Whoa.
Just hack.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, never switch. Switch, Jude. Yep. Whoa, whoa. Oh, Carol.
He's on the wrong side of this.
Carry out.
Next shot, Jude.
Or there's still a way to get that out of there.
Also hij kan hier erop slaan, oder? Dan hat er 5 oder 6.
Still possible.
I think they have to draw and sit
Und wenn er hier
sit
drauf kann, hier
another
drauf
shot
slaan.
in the house. If they were to draw, say, back 4 foot, it would be very difficult to get 4. Because they have to remove both yellow stones.
Hij moet gewoon knap doen. Ik zeg knap de kant, wenn überhaupt. Von hinten habe ich
I'm not sure
nicht
there's
den
a
ganzen.
way to get that
Geht, 7 geht mir nicht raus. Der da
yellow
geht
stone
raus.
out using the red stone on the
That
right. I
always
think the only way to get it out is
that
using the
always
red
that.
stone on the left, and that's the one they got to be wary of. They either have to guard that one
Give me everything
Yeah.
in the last thing anyway.
or draw in. Just draw right there.
To limit the damage.
I think just drawing in the house is the shot.
Dat valt me
Or
niet.
guarding the one on the left.
Wenn er von hier will rausnehmen,
Definitely this shot.
I don't think they can hit anything at this point safely.
recht weit.
On the right side,
If he loses the short.
Was noch? Du hast ja gesagt,
seen from the house, there is no possibility, I guess.
Ich habe hier nie gespielt. Kein einziger Traum. Ich sage nur, also die Länge ist... Ja gut, das ist so Fischfokus stehen, oder?
He draws just behind the 4 foot.
Ja, over 10, ja.
The danger with trying to
Yeah.
draw to the
Yeah,
side of
okay.
that one on the button, if you rub the top red one and sat in the top of the 4 foot, there'd be a double takeout for 6. So you have to draw it past the tee line.
Mm.
Ja.
So 2 options I would suggest is guarding the one on the left or drawing one in.
Behind, from
behind
the
tee
same
line.
side.
And I would think I would choose the draw.
Mm.
You can only see like 2/3 of it in the first place.
I think they're still looking at the hit here.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can get that out. The
Hitting their own,
shooter would have to go out of play because he'd have to hit it thin
Yeah.
enough that the shooter went out of play. And the one on the edge of the button would also go out of play.
But there's a risk that the yellow one would lie open.
You never know that.
Then
This is last shot.
Kom je even voor knap door, oder? Moet eigenlijk hier zo knap wie mogelijk
So
doen.
each team has 1 shot left.
Ik einfach beim Lecker, ich habe nichts Spaß, ich will... Da, also hier wäre noch okay, aber von hier wäre okay. Okay, hack.
I think they made a decision. I'm not sure what it is.
Which is what they're doing.
I heard something about hack weight. Tap.
I would certainly be playing on the left side of the sheet as we look at it. And I think they've chosen the other side, and I think they're just not sure they're playing draw weight or hack weight in there.
Also ich sehe nur halb von mir auf rechts. Aber die ist recht einfach zum Gutschießen, oder? Okay. Nein, nicht wechseln. Wo wechseln? Wechseln. Nein, curlen. Jetzt musst du hart, Mario, go hard. Go hard.
They make it curl.
It's on the outside still.
Hard.
It's pretty good. I'm not sure how they get both of those red ones out, or even they can get certainly their one red stone out, but that would only leave them 3. The shooter might roll in for 4. If they hit that stone on the top left side and angle it back, and the shooter rolls in to bite the 8 foot more than the other yellow stone, they could get 4 to tie the game. The way that
You mean yellow on yellow, or
no, I mean if they hit the red stone,
on
the
yellow?
left,
Yeah.
back onto the yellow one, push it through the hole
Yeah.
with, say, heavy hack weight, and the shooter would roll in to outcount the other yellow one. That would give them 4. I don't think there's any shot hitting the yellow one.
On the right side, huh?
There's no way that can go. If they hit it back on the yellow on the left, it will stay on the red. If they hit it back on the yellow on the right, it will stay on the other red stone. Stay. But there is a chance for 4. Hitting this one through that hole, and the shooter, as Lee is pointing out, has to roll in to outcount the other yellow one. Judith seems to think there's something on the yellow ones.
I don't see anything there.
She thinks if she hits that yellow thin, it's going to somehow make the yellow go to the right. But I don't. Maybe she didn't take physics in school, because that'll never happen.
There's also a drag effect, isn't there?
Yeah,
So
it's going.
No chance.
She's convinced Lee that this will work. I don't think he's convinced. I think his shot was right. She thinks that will pick straight at more than 90 degrees backwards across.
We'll go nowhere, huh?
And it's that just won't happen.
Oh.
I think the other side is the shot. I think 3/4 on that top red stone, and I think you can see enough of it. 3/4 on that one would hit that yellow straight through the hole, and the shooter would roll in to count the other yellow out. So I'm not giving him much of a chance on this one. Somewhere between 0 and 0%.
Yeah. How could you possibly get that
But Judith is convinced it's there.
second
So
out of house?
she's talked him into this.
Just in case it might. Whoa.
And we're going to find out because,
Unlucky.
in fact,
Too far out.
Thank you.
he didn't play it. So it's a score of only 1 point. Things were looking like the opportunity to tie the game was there, but it'll be Mario Freiberger and Michelle Jäggi moving on to the final, all Swiss final, against the team of Martin Rios and Jenny Perra. That comes to it.
That's
15:30. So time for you to go make yourself a cup of coffee, get a sandwich, and join us back here shortly.
Bye. Thanks, Al.
I'm proud of you.